Greetings everyone, this is RP with another video. Um, this time I want to speak about something that's kind of disturbing to me, but um, well, first of all, I want to start by saying I'm a huge Bruce Lee fan. He's the reason why I got into martial art films in the first place, as did a lot of other folks who grew up on martial art films. He was before my time, but I picked up on a lot of his movies from my mother, who was a huge Bruce Lee fan, and my father, who was a huge Bruce Lee fan. And you know, he was a culture icon. He had a lot of charisma. He was a true American and a Chinese. At the same time, I believe he merged both cultures and really expressed the art in Kung Fu at the highest level at that time. He took what was confined to tradition and broke boundaries and basically made a new established art form out of having no art form, which was Jeet Kune Do. Being like water, fit into any type of situation, any type of container, he would say. Just being a pure vessel of, just expression and not really trying to do it, but really letting it be a natural part of your being, which is what Kung Fu is about. It's about like how you walk, how you talk, how you act. It's, a lot of traditionalists would like to confine it to one particular region, but Bruce Lee showed that it can reach all type of boundaries, all types of nationalities in different regions. Fast forward, you have different martial artists on the scene after his, very sad and tragic death in 1972 from a heart attack. You had people like Chuck Norris, who took on the mantle, Steven Seagal, Jean-Claude Van Damme, and on the Chinese side of things, you had Jackie Chan and Jet Li, because they were trying to fill that slot for someone who can be as boisterous and as amazing as Bruce Lee. And a lot of people came close in their own way, but there's only one Bruce Lee. Then you have other people who came on the scene, and like Michael J. White, Scott Adkins, Tony Jai, the man from The Raid, a lot of the Indonesian fighters who come on the scene recently since like 2012. But one particular martial artist I want to really speak about is Michael J. White. And I heard him on a platform by the name of Vlad TV. It's on YouTube. I don't post links or anything like that on my channel, so you'll have to look it up. But he said something, and this is the second time he said this. He said that he said he regretted saying it the first time, but there was a question on another platform where they asked him who would win between him and Bruce Lee, and just out of respect, I would expect him not to even want to answer that question, but he answered it and said he would win, and with no hesitation. Now, I like Michael J. White. I enjoy his films. I really like, Spawn is, in a league of its own. But as far as his martial art films, I would count Undisputed 2. Very good film with him and Scott Adkins. Blood and Bone, amazing film. Black Dynamite, which is a spoof, but it still had martial art elements in it, which was included in the blaxploitation aspect, but reminisce of people like Jim Kelly and so on and so forth. And my personal favorite being Falcon Rising. Michael J. White is a tremendous martial artist who have a lot of different disciplines in his background. But the main style that is at his foundation for him is Karoken, the karate style. And since then, he's learned Wushu and I believe Taekwondo, if I'm not mistaken, and just different martial art elements to complement basic karate. But his main philosophy is basic karate. Bruce Lee's main philosophy was rooted in Wing Chun, and everything else was basically overlap on that style, which basically grew to be Jeet Kune Do. So you have Kung Fu mentality versus karate. If you know anything about the history between Chinese and Japanese, you know, it wasn't that great. You know, Japanese occupied China at one point, and you know, they were very, very harsh and brutal towards the Chinese at one period of time. You know, if you look at films like Chinese Connection and Fist of Legend, Ip Man, they go into details with those crucial times in history. So Japanese and Chinese hadn't always seen eye to eye, and the martial arts are no different. Kung Fu is soft, karate is hard. Kung Fu is round, karate is diagonal. The uniforms are different. The way they greet is different. The culture in which they refer to their school of practice. Chinese refer to, you know, a Kung Fu, you know, place where they teach as a kun, and in karate it's called a dojo. You know, the weapons are different. So from hearing Michael J. White perspective, I started to realize that he can't make Bruce Lee number one in his head, because Bruce Lee is a practitioner of Kung Fu and he's a practitioner at heart of karate. So maybe, because I'm assuming if they asked him who went between him and Chuck Norris, who's a heavy practitioner of karate as well, it would have been a different answer, a different reply. You know, so those little things I kind of find interesting, because I like Michael J. White, but I feel like he carries that animosity in his discipline for Chinese culture in a sense. And it's very, very hidden. I mean, it's not easily spotted, but I kind of find it interesting that, you know, he chose to, you know, speak about him being Bruce Lee that way. If you ask me who's the better martial artist out of, you know, the two, it all boils down on who has the most impact and who had the most influence. It's not about, oh, he could beat 20 people and he can only beat 10, because Bruce Lee already beat 10 based upon, you know, having the influence to teach an entire generation on what Kung Fu is about, you know, when at a time where it wasn't as popular. So he doesn't need to defeat 10 people is what I'm saying. I mean, I feel like what he exemplified in his film was enough to influence us to want to figure out, like, what is this and how can I learn it? You know, a large reason why I believe Michael J. White became a martial artist because of people like Bruce Lee. So you can't go against the teacher. You know, I mean, the main reason why you are doing what you're doing. I mean, even if you look at a video between him and Kimbo Slice where Michael J. White was exemplifying, you know, punching power, he did a technique that's in Jeet Kune Do. So, you know, he was influenced by Bruce Lee, man. So, you know, that's all I want to say about that. I feel like, you know, it just needs to be examined from a different angle, and you'll realize why Michael J. White probably said what he said. So on that note, have a good one. IP signing out.